to discuss the principles of wealth creation. So we are all welcome. Yesterday we said every one of us who is there, we should become wealthy. You should aim at becoming wealthy. You should aim at becoming financially independent for the following reasons. We said poverty is a choice. Okay, anybody who is poor, anybody who ends up being poor, they end up being poor because they choose to be so. They choose to be poor, not because God wants them to be poor, not because things are not favorable and all that. Anybody who remains in poverty, it is strictly a matter of our choice. Yes, we may start out being poor. We may start out the journey of life. Things may not be the way we want. Our parents may not have enough resources, but you see, we can always do something about it. All right. So you should become wealthy because poverty is a choice and wealth is a choice. You can choose to be poor, and we can also choose to be wealthy. And then two, we said complete success is impossible unless you are rich. To fulfill your dreams is impossible unless you are rich. We said in living life, in running the process of life, we will need material resources. At some point you will need food, at some point you will need clothes, at some point you will need equipment, at some point you will need to rent facility, at some point you may need to buy facility. There are many things that will be required in the fulfillment of your purpose, in the fulfillment of your dreams. Okay, and so to fulfill your dreams, to achieve your dreams is going to be relatively impossible without financial freedom or without financial resources. So we must understand that fulfillment of dreams requires financial resources. We also said you should become wealthy because money is neither good nor bad, and this is particularly for those who have had religious backgrounds where they are probably been told that money is the root of all evil. And we said yesterday that money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. So money is not bad. We mentioned yesterday that just like you will have a knife is neither good nor bad. What you use the knife to do is what determines if the knife is good or bad. Then wealth is also a measure of your contribution to the society. Your level of finance, your level of income is a reflection or is a measure of how much value you are adding to the society. If you are not contributing to the society, you find out that the society will pay you peanuts. The society will give you peanuts as salary. For example, a person who is working as a gate man, the person will probably be earning a very meager salary compared to the boss of the organization or compared to highly placed people in the organization. And you see what the person is earning, what a gate man is earning is a measure of his contribution to the society. If the person wants to earn more, the person simply needs to contribute more. The more you contribute, the more you earn. Then we said it is easy to make money. Okay, you should become wealthy because it is easy to make money. Anybody can make money. Everybody can make money. And why is it easy to make money? Money goes to one place and one place only. Money goes to one place and one place only. Where is that place? Anywhere there is problem, there is money. Anywhere there is problem, the more the problems, the more the money. The more problems you can solve, the more money we pay you. Okay? And then we also said money does not discriminate. And I remember I said to us yesterday that there's none of us who came to the world with a label on our forehead or with labels on our forehead. God did not label some people poor. God didn't label some people rich. All right? So anybody can become wealthy. And if you look, in fact, if you look at any city at all in the world, any community, any society, you will find out that the rich and the poor always coexist. In every community, you will find a rich person. In every community, you will find a poor person. All right. So, and you see, money does not discriminate. The only thing is that there are certain attributes, there are certain elements that attract money. Some people align with those principles, some people do not. Okay, so you should become wealthy because anybody can become wealthy regardless of where they are coming from. Once you know the right buttons to press, the creation will reward you with financial resources. And then we also mentioned the fact that having plenty of money or having money will make your life easy. Okay, so you should become wealthy, or you should aim at becoming wealthy, because when you are wealthy, your life will be easy. When a person is poor, life can be very hard. When a person is poor, life can be very, very, very hard. I remember yesterday I shared with us quite a number of examples of some of the things that can happen when a person is poor. Okay, and I was saying to us that there was a time I traveled to Abuja, I went by road. There was another time I traveled to Abuja, I went by air. And the difference was clear. There was a big difference. On one of the trip, I traveled 6 hours to Abuja, and it was a painful experience, it was a painful journey. The other experience, I went with my car first to the airport, and then from the airport we boarded the plane. That was Akure Airport to Abuja. That trip was comfortable. That trip was nice. Things. It was just okay. And then maybe this other one that I didn't mention yesterday. Let me also mention it here. The trip that I went for in Abuja, we were lodged at Ray's Continental Hotel in Abuja. That hotel makes sense. Okay, the bed was awesome. The duvet made a lot of sense. There were like 4 pillows. Only me. 4 pillows. 1, 2, 3, 4 pillows. Very soft pillows. No, they're not like those. They're not those hard pillows that you buy for maybe 800 or 700. These ones are very soft pillows. The room was rugged. There was like a small settee in the room. In the bathroom, there were bathrobes. It was just awesome. And what created it was simply money, financial resources. All right. So we must understand that money makes life easy. Money makes life enjoyable. And you see, it is not the intention of the Creator. It is not the intention of God that life should be hard. God does not want your life to be hard. We must understand that. Okay, so we must understand that when you desire to become wealthy, when you desire financial increase in your life, you are simply desiring what the Creator also wants. In fact, life by its very nature, life itself speaks abundance and wealth. Okay, even when we observe creation generally, when you observe the universe generally, the universe itself is rich. The universe itself is wealthy. Okay, the universe itself shows signs of increase, because the life, anywhere there is life, there is increase. Okay, anywhere you see life, there is increase. All right, and so wealth is often a sign that somebody is alive. Okay, when all your mental faculties are alive, when everything about you, when you are actively engaging all your faculties, you find out that wealth is often the end result. So having money will make your life easy, and you should aim to have money. But peradventure, in case you are not interested in having this money, I can just encourage you, every day you wake up, just pray. Say, God, the money that I'm supposed to have, I don't think I want it. Just give them to Dr. Bibilari. I will gladly receive it, and I will say thank you to you. All right. So having plenty of money will make your life easy. And then we also said that the Creator wants you to be rich. Okay, the Creator wants you to be wealthy. God is not against your progress. God is not against your increase. God wants your life to be easy. God wants you to be full of life yourself. So yesterday again, we also said that generally there are 2 sources of wealth. Generally, wealth has 2 sources. One is by inheritance, and 2 is self-acquired. Wealth can be self-acquired. You can either inherit wealth or you can acquire it by yourself, and both of them are valid. There are people who, by virtue of where they are born, their family background and all that, they are born into wealth. All well and good. There are some of us that are not born into wealth, that we have to create it, and it is very much doable. We can create the wealth. In fact, quite a number of people who inherit wealth, even the money they inherit often end up as a disadvantage to them. Okay, because there are quite a lot of rich folks or rich children that because of the money they have at home, they hardly use their minds. Okay, they hardly engage their mental faculties because everything is just easy for them, so they hardly exert themselves. And you find out that except very few of them, maybe that their parents have to subject to training, those ones that are rich that their parents do not subject to training, the money becomes a disadvantage. The money they made at home becomes a disadvantage to them. All right, so wealth can be inherited, it can be self-acquired. And then yesterday we also not mentioned that there are people who worked their way up to success and wealth. They also started without anything or with next to nothing. Okay, they were also from very poor. Some of them were also from very poor background, very humble beginning, and they had to create success themselves. They didn't have parents who could support them. They didn't have uncles, rich aunties or rich uncles that could give them money. They had to create the money themselves. They had to work, invest their time and effort in particularly engaging their talents, engaging their natural abilities to create wealth for themselves. We mentioned Oprah Winfrey yesterday, and yesterday I encourage each and every one of us that you should try and read up on these people, because when you read up on their stories, okay, maybe let me say this here, please. One of the things I want to encourage all of us to do is to find biographies that you can read and that can encourage you. One of the things that biographies does for us, when you read biographies of people, one of the things it does for you is that it gives you confidence and it eliminates fear. Reading biography eliminates fear and it lends confidence, you see, because by the time you read different biographies, you just understand that whatever you are going through now, people have gone through it, and some even went through worse, and yet they came out victorious. So reading biographies gives you confidence. There's one I have here. I'm trying to look for it. Just a minute, please. I'm coming, trying to look for the book. All right, sorry, I was trying to get it. Now this particular one, the title is Awo, the autobiography of Obafemi Awolowo. Awo, the autobiography of Obafemi Awolowo. See, the day I read this book, or not the day, okay, because I didn't finish it in a day. When I finished reading this book, there was just an understanding that dawned on me that I cannot fail in life. No matter what, I cannot fail. After I read this book, you see, because at some point as I was reading, the man gave practical steps. He gave practical insight of what everybody needs to do to become successful. Okay, he was. Please let's unmute our mics. Please let's unmute our mics. Please let's unmute our mics.
They might.
All right. So when I read this book, he shared practical insight, and it was very definite, very exact about it. And when I finished it, there was just this understanding I had about it. Before I read the book, I didn't have that kind of understanding. I was just hoping. I was hoping that things would be nice. I was hoping that things would change. I was hoping that things would get better. But you see, after I read the book, my mind changed from just open and having understanding of definite practical steps I can take to increase my life. And that's one of the reasons why in our previous classes I was saying to us that hope is not a strategy. Okay, we cannot be hoping that things will get better. By example, you cannot be hoping that money will just come your way. You cannot be hoping that one day you will just be rich. It doesn't work. It will never happen. Just hoping. If all you do, if all we are doing is that we are just hoping that one day money will just enter into my account, it's not going to happen. All right, but you see, when we read biographies and you read stories of different people, you read the challenges they've had to go through. You read how they were able to navigate the different challenges. Something just tells you that you can do it. That if they can do it, you too can do it. For example, when I read this biography of Awolowo, one of the things I found out is that his dad died when he was 11 years old. My own dad died when I was 9 years old. Okay, his dad could not. His mom was poor. His mom could not send him to school. My mom fell into a similar category. Life was a bit hard. Things were tough for him. But there was a season that he was indebted. He ventured into many businesses and some of them failed. But as I was reading that story, the challenges, his failures, and how he ultimately won, those things gave me a confident assurance that I can also win. So please, I want to encourage you. Please, let's all ensure that we try to read biographies. Particularly maybe even in your field, maybe if you're in fashion, if you're in catering, if you're in education, try and look up people who have excelled in that field. You'll find out that you will learn a lot from their stories. Okay, so yesterday we talked about Oprah Winfrey. We talked about Jim Ovia, that's the founder of Zenith Bank. We talked about Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motors. We talked about Nike Davis Okundaye, that's the founder of Nike Art Gallery. And we mentioned yesterday that this woman didn't go to school. She grew up, she was born in Kogi State. At some point she was married off at age 14. She ran away from the husband's house because she felt that was going to ruin her life. Okay, and I mentioned yesterday that even though she didn't Nike Okundaye didn't go to school, at some point, in fact she's a world renowned artist all over the world. People, they give her a lot of regards. She has had to lecture in different universities in Europe and in the United States. For a woman that did not go to school, all right. So when you read stories like that, you're just encouraged. So if Nike didn't go to school and she's outstandingly successful, how much more you that you went to school? Okay, if Nike didn't go to school and she has this outstanding life, you that you have gone to school, you should do much better. Okay, or we that have gone to school, we should do much better. And then we talked about Andrew Carnegie. We talked about Yemisi Ironloye. We talked about Adebisi Olaito. Okay, and then so this was where we stopped yesterday. Principles of wealth creation. In other words, what are the steps to be taken to create a life of wealth, to create a life of abundance? What are the steps that each one of us need to take? And you see, when you take these steps and you are committed to these steps, wealth is inevitable, regardless of where you are starting from. Regardless of where you are starting from. You see, that's the beauty about studying. You see, as we study life and how life works, there just comes a point that we stumble upon the foundational principles of the universe. Okay, you see, when God created the universe, there are elements that He already put in the universe. Okay, that makes the universe run. And you see, there's nothing any of us can do about those principles. For example, the law of gravity is a principle, and that principle is that whatever you throw up must definitely come down. Human beings did not create the law of gravity. We only discovered the law of gravity. And you see, you will only ignore that law at your own peril. Just imagine now, somebody says, I don't believe in the law of gravity. There's nothing like the law of gravity. And the person climbs a 5-story building and decides to jump down. You know that person is jumping to certain death. Or if he is lucky, he will end up with a broken neck. Okay? So, and you see, just the law of gravity is just one out of the several principles that the Creator has programmed into his universe. It is as we understand these principles and these laws and we apply them that we get results. Yesterday we talked about the third rule of winning, and that's the fact that do not swim against the current. In whatever you are doing, don't swim against the current. Try to find out the direction of the current and just align yourself with the current. And that's also the same thing that we're going to be talking about in these principles. These principles already exist. What we just need to do is to find them out and align ourselves with them. As we align ourselves with these principles, we will get the result. These principles are as sure as 1 + 1 is 2. And this is one of the reasons why I believe, really, these are some of the things that somebody should have taught us in school. Okay, some of these things we should have been taught in school. Is it because I believe that if all of us are taught these things in school, our lives will move at a faster pace. Our lives will run at a faster pace. We will struggle less, and we will get results faster. And I believe that one day, this kind of thing will be introduced to our educational system, because these principles, they are principles that anybody can follow. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a traditional worshiper, once you follow these principles, you get the result. These principles have no respect of persons. They have no regard for persons. They have no regard for gender. They have no regard for age. If you are 5-year-old or 10-year-old and you follow these principles, you will get the result. If you are 100 years old and you follow the principles, you will get the result. If you are black and you follow the principles, you get the result. If you are white and you follow the principles, you get the result. All right? And so please, as we're going to be looking at this principle, there are 15 of them that we'll look at. Please, I want us to pay attention. Okay, please pay attention and follow me carefully. Whichever one you don't understand, just note it down. And then after the class, we'll give time for questions, for interaction. All right? So these principles are sure. These principles are definite. If you follow them carefully and you apply yourselves in following these principles, I can guarantee you that you cannot live a life of obscurity. You can rest assured about that. I can bet my glasses. Okay, I can bet anything that if you align yourselves with these principles, you will create a result. You will get the result. Of course, it may take time. Okay, it may take time. Just like when you plant oil palm or you plant cocoa tree will not bear fruit until 3 to 5 years. All right, but you can rest assured that if you follow the planting methods and you follow the stipulated atmospheric conditions that are required for cocoa to germinate, after 3 to 5 years you will begin to harvest cocoa. It is just as definite as that. These principles are as definite as that. These principles, when you walk by them, you cannot fail. Your life cannot but be outstanding. Your life cannot but flourish. Okay, because these are eternal principles that have no regard for persons. Again, these principles can be likened to having a key. Let's assume that where can I use now? Let's assume that you have an iron gate. Okay, an iron gate, a very massive iron gate that a key is supposed to open it. Somebody can come and be beating their head, nodding their head against the gate. In fact, somebody can come and sit down before the gate and say, "Oh, gate, please open." Somebody can be crying, "Oh, gate, please open to me." Whereas a small child, a 5-year-old boy or girl, can come with the key. Thousands of people might be sitting at the gate, banging their head on the gate, banging anything on the gate, trying to force the gate open. But a child, a 5-year-old child who has the key, will simply come, open the door, and go in. This is exactly the way these principles operate. Success and wealth creation are very much achievable to everybody, but there are keys that unlock the doors to success and wealth. So these keys are what we're going to be discussing now. And number one key that we must understand is that it begins with your thoughts. It begins with your thoughts. When it comes to becoming successful, when it comes to living an outstanding life, when it comes to living a life of abundance and wealth, the starting place, the fundamental, the most important thing is your thoughts. The most important thing is not your job. It's not having a job. The most important thing is not capital. Okay? The most important thing is not even your parents or your uncle that can give you money. The most important thing is what is going on in your mind. What are the thoughts that you are accommodating in your mind? What are the thoughts that are going on in your mind? What is the quality of your thoughts? What kind of thoughts do you allow to stay in your mind? You know, Andrew Young says there, he says, I have about concluded that wealth is a state of mind, and that anyone can acquire a wealthy state of mind by thinking rich thoughts. Wealth is a state of mind. Wealth is a pattern of thinking. It's a pattern. It's a mental, it's a kind of mindset. It's a kind of mental mode. It's a kind of perspective to life, the way you see life, the way you see things. Poverty starts in the mind. Wealth starts in the mind. What kind of thoughts are you thinking? You know, this is one of the reasons why King Solomon said, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it proceed the issues of life. Okay? Said, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of your heart proceed the issues of life. In other words, out of your mind, out of your heart are the outputs of life. Out of your mind come the results that you experience in your life. You see, whatever state that we experience, whatever fruits or whatever result or whatever outputs that are obtainable in our lives, they are a function of what we are thinking. And you see, we must have this clear understanding, because as we go along, you will realize that whatever result you want to see in your life, one of the things you should first concentrate on is programming it into your mind. Program it into your mind. Program it into your mind. Program it into your mind. You want to become successful? Program it into your mind. You want to become wealthy? Program it into your mind. You want to have a happy marriage? Program it into your mind. You want to have a flourishing company, a flourishing business? Program it into your mind. You have to first take charge, take control of what goes on in your mind. You see, it is as we think in our minds that we begin to attract. There's a law of attraction in the universe. Okay, there's a law of attraction, and that law says whatever is your dominant thought, you attract into your life. Whatever you think about most of the time, you attract into your life. Whatever. If you think about wealth, increase, abundance most of the time, you will just find out that little and little, by and by, those are the things you will begin to attract into your life. All right? So we must understand that wealth creation begins with our mind. It is not about getting a job. It is not about getting capital. That is not the foundation of wealth. Foundation of wealth is what is going on in your mind. What are you thinking about most of the time? And this also means that we have to take responsibility in terms of what are the kind of thoughts that we allow into our minds. And part of that is, who are the people around you? Who are the people that you listen to? Who do you listen to? Is it because everybody that we listen, anybody you listen to, technically has a way of feeding your mind, particularly your subconscious mind? What kind of movies do you watch? What kind of friends do you keep? Because whatever they are saying, whatever people are saying around you, goes into your subconscious mind. And you see, our subconscious mind works in such a way that whatever you program into it is what it delivers. Is what it delivers out to you. Our subconscious mind works on the principle of garbage in, garbage out. You feed your mind with garbage, it produces garbage for you. You feed your mind with thoughts of poverty, or you do not take deliberate action to guard against thoughts of poverty, your mind will produce poverty for you. You feed your mind with thoughts of increase, thoughts of advancement, thoughts of progress, it will produce progress for you. So our minds are the foundation of wealth creation. And you see, the reason this is not automatic is because as we are all growing up, people have said all sorts of things to us, and many times, many of the things they have said, they are jargons, they are rubbish, they are garbage, they are nonsense. The things that people have fed us with, they are nonsense. For example, one of the nonsense that flies around is that you cannot become rich except you travel out of Nigeria. It is pure nonsense. It is pure garbage. You know, sometimes people carry the mentality. People say things and they say it, and then they display the attitude that you cannot make it in Nigeria. It is pure nonsense. Pure nonsense. Because even as we say that things are tough, things are difficult, there are a lot of companies in Nigeria that are still making money. All right. So the beginning of wealth creation, number one, the first principle we must understand that wealth is all about our mind. It's all about your mind. And see, whatever you must do, whatever you need to do to ensure that you are programming your thoughts, you are programming your mind towards the kind of life you want, you must do it. Ideally, that is what school is supposed to do for us. Okay? Because, for example, if somebody wants to become a lawyer, what the person does is that he enrolls in the school, in the faculty of law, and the people try to program his mind about law. So first year, they are teaching him about law. Second year, they are teaching him about law. Third year, fourth year, the fifth year, they are still introducing him to the concept of law. In other words, or put another way, they are baptizing him or her into the concept of law, so that after a period of time, the person begins to think like a lawyer. The person begins to reason like a lawyer, and then ultimately the person functions like a lawyer, and when the person functions like a lawyer, he or she gets the reward of a lawyer. Now the same thing applies to wealth creation. If you want to become wealthy, what you need to do is begin to program your mind in such a way that your mind can think like the wealthy, and your mind can function like the mind of the wealthy, of the rich. Yesterday I was saying to us, I said that it is the poor people that say things like some people are destined to be poor, some people are destined to be rich. You will not find a rich person who says things like that, or who thinks that way. It is poor people that think that way. That some people are supposed to be rich, some people are supposed to be poor. Okay? Alright, so we must understand that the first principle of wealth creation begins with our thoughts. Your thoughts are your most important asset. Your thoughts, what you think in your mind, can create anything for you. There's also King Solomon again that said this. He said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Or as a woman thinketh in his heart, so is she. Whatever you think, you become. Whatever you think about, you become. Whatever you think about, you become. Whatever you think about, you become. Whatever you give your attention to, whatever you sustain in your mind, you become. Whatever you sustain in your mind becomes your reality. Whatever you allow your mind to dwell upon, after a while becomes your reality. If you think about becoming a public speaker and you think about it most of the time, you dwell on it most of the time, after a while, you just find out that opportunities to speak begin to come your way. If you think about becoming a successful caterer most of the time, if that is what is your dominating thought, if that is what you think about all the time, you just find out that after a while, opportunities to become a successful caterer begin to come your way. Because whatever we think, we attract. Whatever we think about, we attract. That is the way the universe is structured. Whatever a human being thinks about, most of the time, the human being attracts. And then number 2 principle is desire. Desire. It was Napoleon Hill who said, "You may as well know right here that you can never have riches in great quantities unless you can work yourself into a white heat of desire for money and actually believe you will possess it." For you to have money, you must desire to have money. And you see, there's a difference between desire and wishing. Okay, there's a big difference between wishing for something and desiring something. When you desire something, you are willing to commit to the process of achieving it. When you wish for something, it is just a passive thing. You are not putting in any energy into it. You are just if it happens, fine. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. All right. But you see, when you have intense desire for something, you find out that every of your fiber is thinking that how do you get this thing? For example, when a man has a strong desire to get married, the man is taking active steps. The man is checking out every lady that is passing. All right, because when you have intense desire for something, it gives you energy to want to pursue it. It gives you just have the drive that you want to do all it takes to get it. So, if you want to become wealthy, you must cultivate a desire for that wealth, because it is that desire that is going to drive you. It is that desire that is going to enable you to take steps that are required to acquire the wealth. That's number 2. Number 3 is faith. The 3rd principle is faith. Again, we read this quote. It says, "Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Most of us will be familiar with Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple Computers. Before Steve Jobs came on board, what we had were phones with keypads. Most of us will remember all those phones with keypads. That you have to type all those Nokia phones, BlackBerry. I think BlackBerry was the peak of it. All those phones that had keypads. And then Steve Jobs came on the scene, and he said that he wants to eliminate keypads. That he wants to produce mobile phones that will not be using keypads, that will be using touchpads. And he believed it, and he achieved it. Okay, initially they started with all these iPhones with one single button. I know some of those phones before, or iPad, that is just one single button, the home button. That was where they started with. Then we graduated to where we are today, that you even have Android phones that have no buttons whatsoever. Okay, so whatever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. So you must cultivate the faith. You must believe in your dreams. You must believe in your dreams, because all things are possible to them that believe. Yeah. All things are possible to them that believe. Sometimes ago, it was impossible for human beings to fly. Okay, sometimes ago it was impossible for human beings to fly, and then some people came on the scene. Their name is Wright brothers, Wilbur and with Wright, Wilbur. I forgot the name of the other brother, the Wright brothers. And then they came on the scene, and then they were saying, "We believe man can fly." People around them thought they were crazy, but they kept saying human beings can fly. And then they invented the airplane. Today, the plane has become normal. But you see, some 200 years ago, a plane was non-existent. People didn't believe human beings can fly in the air because human beings don't carry wings. But some set of guys came on this and they said, "We believe this thing is possible. This thing is possible," and they believed it. Okay, some years ago, communicating with ourselves like this was impossible. Okay, if you want to communicate with somebody, you have to write long letter and you wait for months before the letter will deliver, or you wait until you see the person physically. But today we can communicate like this. You can see me, I can see you, because some people believe it is possible. Okay, so your dreams are also possible. So you must have faith in your dreams. You must believe that whatever has been coming to your mind that is strong is possible to achieve. It's very possible, very possible. Okay. And then number 4 is that you need specialized knowledge. When it comes to wealth creation, you need specialized knowledge. Okay? Napoleon Hill said here, he said, knowledge will not attract money unless it is organized and intelligently directed through practical plans of action to the definite end of accumulation of money. Your knowledge could be in something as common as shoemaking. It could be as common as garment making. Okay, it could be as common as agriculture. It could be as common as baking. But you see, this knowledge, it has to be intense knowledge that you understand this area. Many times, one of the reasons that people do not stand out in their field, or they find it difficult to gain recognition and therefore acquire wealth in their field, is that they don't really know their field. They don't really know their field. They don't really have knowledge in their field. Okay, is it because you meet somebody who is a caterer, for example, and the person does not understand the importance of balanced diet? As simple as that. The person does not understand balanced diet, and then the person says he wants to be a successful caterer. The person does not know the attributes of food. The person does not understand the processing of food. The person does not understand the temperature that each food requires. Is it because every element that we call food, they do not do well at the same temperature. Okay, there are certain foods that you have to refrigerate. There are certain foods that you have to freeze. There are certain foods that you have to keep at room temperature. There are certain foods that you have to warm up, that you have to keep warm. But the person does not have some of those basic understanding, and the person wants to thrive, wants to excel as a caterer. Sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, the person does not understand the kind of equipment and facilities that is needed for catering, and then the person says, "I want to excel as a caterer." It doesn't work. The person just adds, then maybe the person just works somewhere, or the person just likes to cook, and then the person, because I like to cook, then I can be a successful caterer. It doesn't work that way. And you say, how you will know it doesn't work that way is that try to visit some high-class, top-class hotels. You will find out that some of their chefs, even the way they cut onions, there's a way you cut onion. You don't cut onion anyhow. There's a way they cut tomatoes. I was telling about my trip to Abuja that last time. In their restaurant, there is a way they cut all their fruits. Their what's it called? Their watermelon, their cucumber, their tomatoes. There is a way to cut it. You don't just cut anyhow and expect that the thing will be attractive. I also, there's a way they arrange. When they cut cucumber, there's a way you arrange the cucumber. That is organized knowledge. That is intense knowledge. Understanding that terrain. But somebody wants to become a successful caterer, the only thing the person can cook is fried rice and jollof rice. And sometimes even the jollof rice will be burnt to concept, or the jollof rice will not be well cooked. And the person says, I want to be successful, I want to be a wealthy caterer. It doesn't work that way. Okay, it doesn't work that way. So whatever field you want to choose, because again, one of the things that we must understand is that in life, you cannot get something for nothing. For you to become wealthy, there must be something you want to trade in return. Okay? For wealth to come to you, there must be something you want to give or something you want to trade in return. And one of the things you can trade, one of the things you can trade for money is knowledge. But you see, the knowledge is not knowledge that is common. It's not general knowledge that everybody knows or general knowledge that doesn't benefit anybody. It has to be intense knowledge, deliberate knowledge. And you see, that is why when a senior advocate of Nigeria goes to court and a lawyer that is not a son goes to court, or when both of them are going to get contract, usually there is a difference in their pay. Is it because it is expected that a son has practiced, he has gathered certain level of experience, he has gathered certain level of knowledge, that it is expected that he knows more than the regular person, and so he can command higher fees. The same thing applies in the medical profession. There are general practitioners, and then there are people that are called consultants. And they are called consultants because they have specialized knowledge in a particular field. In other words, when you come to them, they can solve problems for you in that particular area because they understand the terrain. The same reason is why professors will earn more than the average lecturer, because it is expected that a professor knows more, understands more. So in your field, you must decide which field do you want to stay based on your natural abilities, natural inclinations, the things that you have flair for. And not only deciding your field, you must determine to gather relevant specialist knowledge or relevant specialized knowledge in that your field, so that you understand your terrain so well, you understand it in and out. You understand it in and out. It's because it is when you understand your field in and out that people can pay you, that you can command premium fees, premium charges. If all you know is what everybody knows, there's nothing special about you. So people will find it difficult to pay you anything extra. So we must hunt after specialized knowledge. Okay, deep knowledge, not just superficial knowledge, deep knowledge. If I may ask you now, what do you know? If I may ask those of us who are here, what area of what aspect of life can you say you are a custodian of knowledge? That this area, when you come to me with problems in this area, I can provide solutions. Because it is at this level that you can command wealth. It is at this kind of level that you can command wealth. And then number 5 is our imagination. Whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass. Paul J. Mayer. And then Muhammad Ali said, the man who has no imagination has no wings. Allow your imagination to run. Allow your imagination. You know, sometimes depending on the kind of parenthood that we had, or the kind of childhood we had, sometimes our parents or sometimes our teachers, they kill our imagination. You know, maybe as a child, you're just fantasizing, you're just thinking of something unusual, something that looks highfalutin, and somebody, hey, go and sit down, that one cannot work. Go and sit down, what do you know? You're always thinking thoughts that are not making sense. Please don't allow people to shut down your imagination. You see, because our imagination is one of the faculties that God has blessed us with, that enables us to peep into the spiritual world. And you see, we understand that it is the spirit realm that controls the physical. Okay, whatever we see in the physical first exists in the spiritual realm. And you find out that if you study most of the early inventors, people like Isaac Newton, like Thomas Edison, and so sometimes they have this practice that they just shut themselves in, and then sometimes they close their eyes. They are just trying to imagine, just trying to penetrate into the spirit realm. Okay, and they just allow their imaginations to run wild. They just imagine something new, something better, something different. if you are going to be wealthy, you must be somebody that cultivates vivid imagination. Never mind. Again, maybe a precaution I should not give to you is that when you are having some of those crazy thoughts or crazy ideas, don't discuss with everybody. That's sometimes a mistake some people make. Okay, sometimes they are thinking of some thoughts, they are thinking of things that a new idea and something else, and then they talk with their friends, they discuss with their friends that have no knowledge, and then their friends say, shut up, what they are thinking cannot work. You just have all these crazy stupid ideas. Don't discuss when you have some of those ideas that look unusual, that look outrageous. Don't discuss with your friends that have no knowledge. In fact, don't discuss if your parents have no knowledge. Don't discuss with your parents. Look for somebody who is wise and knowledgeable to discuss with. Don't discuss with people who will kill your dreams. Don't discuss with people who will kill your imagination. Look for people who can find your dreams. Look for people who can find your imagination. People who can say to you, yes, it is possible. Go ahead, it is possible. People who can help you modify your dreams, who can help you modify your imagination. That's one of the things personally that I do. When ideas come to my mind, I don't discuss with everybody, because I know that if I discuss with some people, because of the limitation of their thinking, because of the smallness of their minds, they will tell me it is not possible. So I don't bother to discuss with them. There are very, very few people I discuss with. Very, very few people. Very, very few people. In fact, there are many things that it's only my mentor I discuss with. Aside from maybe talking to God about it in prayer, the only other person I discuss with is my mentor. Because I know that if I discuss with other people, they will be discouraging me. They will be saying it is not. They will be giving me 1,001 reasons why it cannot be done. And see, those are not the kind of people you need around you. When you have interesting ideas, when you have big ideas, you don't discuss with people that have small minds. Otherwise, if you do that, they will kill the dream for you. They will kill it. They won't allow the dream to see the light of day, or to see the light of day rather. Okay, so we must exercise our imagination. Exercise, dream. You see, don't worry about how it is going to come to pass. You dream the dream first. When you are finished dreaming the dream, we can now look at how will the dream come to pass. But dream, allow your mind to run wild. You are thinking of creating a restaurant for diabetics. Allow your mind to run. You are thinking of having a big home where the elderly people can be catered for. Allow your mind to run. Okay, allow it to run. You are thinking of hosting musical concerts where you will have hundreds of thousands of people. Allow your imagination to run. Allow your imagination. Don't stifle your imagination. Don't start with it cannot be done. Think it first and then ask how can it be done. Okay? Think it first and then ask how can it be done. Okay? Allow your imagination to run. Allow your imagination to run. Don't stifle your imagination. Don't stifle your mind. Don't choke your mind. Don't choke your own imagination. Allow those seemingly wide ideas to run freely in your mind. Is it because it is as you allow those ideas to run in your mind that you will stumble on the one that can catapult you to greatness? That the one that can also make your life bigger will also enter into your mind. Then number 6 is organized planning. Organized planning. We said there that a goal without a plan is just a wish. You must have a plan. You must have a plan. You must have a plan. Whatever you want to see happen in your life, whatever you want to create in your life, you must have a plan. How do you intend to achieve this? Okay, it's not just enough to desire to be wealthy. You must have a plan to become. How will you become wealthy? You must have goals. Okay, you must have goals of things you want to achieve, and how do you want to achieve them? You see, in the process of setting goals and listing things you want to achieve, sometimes when you are starting out, you may not see everything clearly. Okay, but you don't worry about what you cannot see clearly. Just concentrate on the light that you have in the present. Focus on what you can do in the immediate. Don't worry about how the other ones will sort themselves, because sometimes the challenge we often have in setting up goals and carrying out our goals is that when we look at how big the dream is and we cannot see how it will come to pass or how everything will fit together, we want to shelve it. Don't do like that. Don't do like that. Even if the goal is very big, if the dream is very big, break it down into bits. You have a dream of touching 1 million people. Start with touching 5 people. As you start touching 5 people, your eyes will be opened to see how you can touch other people. You see, life can be likened to a tunnel. Okay, a tunnel that just goes straight and appears as if it has no end. And sometimes when you look at that tunnel, or let's even say that it appears as if there is a wall at the end of the tunnel, there's a tendency to think, I don't need to go, there's wall ahead, let me just forget about this tunnel and just come back or do something else. But you see, one of the secrets about life is that as you start heading towards that wall, that seeming wall at the end of that tunnel, you just suddenly realize that before you get to the wall, there will be a door. But the only thing is that when you are starting, that door will not be visible when you are starting. It is as you keep moving and keep approaching the door, approaching the wall, that you will suddenly see that there's another door or there's another opening to the right. Okay, so we must have plans. You must have goals and you must have plans. If you say you want to become wealthy, you must have a plan of how do you want to become wealthy. You must set a goal. You must set a time limit. When do you want to become wealthy? You must set maybe a 10-year goal for yourself or a 5-year goal for yourself. Then another 10 years, I want to be in this state of finance. And you must have a plan to how are you going to get there. It's not enough to say in 10 years time or in 5 years time, I want to have 1 million naira in my account balance. I have to have 10 million naira in my account balance. Aside from setting that financial goal, you must also not have it. How do you want to get there? What are you going to be doing that can generate that money for you? And then you start carrying out the plan. Then number 7 is that you must have a money farm. You must have a money farm. In other words, you must have an avenue that has the potential of bringing you a lot of money. How do I mean? Let me give you an example. If somebody is working as a gate man, the position of a gate man is not a money farm, because no matter how hard you are working as a gate man, nobody's going to pay you in millions for working as a gate man. All right. The same thing if you are working as a class teacher. If all you are doing is just to work as a class teacher, no matter how hard you are working as a class teacher, nobody's going to pay you in millions for being a class teacher. However, you can be working as a class teacher for now and then have an exit plan or have a strategy of owning your own school. Now, if you have your own school, yes, people can pay you in millions you can earn in millions for owning your own school. If you start a coaching center, yes, you can earn in millions for having a coaching center. Okay, if you look at other solutions you can provide in the educational sector, maybe there's something you can begin to trade in, there's something you can begin to buy and sell in the education sector. Yes, maybe you can become a consultant in a subject or become an administrative consultant in education. Yes, people can pay you. So you must have a money farm. You must look at your life. You must look at, if you are working presently, you must plot the trajectory. In another 10 years, if I keep working hard on this thing that I'm doing, is it possible that a time will come that I can earn in millions? If it is not possible, you need to look at something else. You may not need to exit yet, but you may need to look at something else that you can begin to do that has the potential of generating wealth for you. So you must have a farm where you can go and be plucking money from. Okay? It's very important. You must have a money farm. And then you must align with the principle of increase of life. Increase of life. We are looking at what are the principles of wealth creation. And number 8 is increase of life. I have a quote here that says, all human activities are based on the desire for increase. people are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, increase in something, increase in life. People want their life to get better in one way or the other. And to become wealthy as a person, you must begin to find a way to give increase to other people. You must find a way to make life better for other people. What you want to give to them might be better food, it may be better clothes, it may be a nicer house, it may be that you decorate their house and make their house beautiful, it may be more luxury, it may be more beauty, it may be more comfort, but whatever it is, you must find a way. Your life must be making life of other people advance. It is when you are contributing increase to the life of other people that they can pay you. Okay? And is it what now happens that as you are contributing, making life increase for other people, you must now do it on a large scale. You must do it on a large scale. Because usually the higher the number of people you can touch, then the higher the money that can come into your pocket. And again, this is one of the reasons why you cannot afford not to study leadership and management. Okay, you must learn leadership and management. Is it because usually money cannot come to you if you are not a leader? The reason being that to create wealth, usually you will need a team. One person, one man, one individual cannot create wealth. One man or one woman, one person, you cannot create wealth. Because there's a limit to what you can do as a person. There's a limit. Okay, so you must know how to put people together to add increase, to give increase to other people, to make life better for other people. And for you to do that effectively, you must understand leadership. All right. So principle number 8 is principle of increase of life. You must find a way to be giving increase to other people. You must find a way to give increase to people around you. You must find a way to make life better. And you see, all of us we have abilities that can make life better for other people. The only challenge many times is that many of us are not using it, or many of us have not trained those talents to be better. When we get to the lecture on finding and monetizing your talent, I think we will dwell more on that. Okay, so you must make life easier for other people. You must make life better. You must be thinking, how do I make life better for other people? How do I make life easier for other people? Because it is this process of making life easier for others, this process of making life better for others, that you can be rewarded handsomely for your effort. Then number 9, we must understand that cheating does not last. Whatever you want to do to create wealth, please do not cut corners. Don't cut corners. Please don't cut corners. Integrity is very key. Integrity is very important. In fact, I learned this lesson from, of course, from multiple sources, but the one that readily sticks to my mind is one of the wealthy people in Nigeria today, Cosmos Maduka. That's the founder of Coscaris Motors. Now, this guy started out in life poor. He started in life poor. He was in the East. I think he was born in the East. Then, at some point, he relocated to Lagos to stay with his uncle in Lagos. And get what the work that his uncle was doing in Lagos. His uncle was a bicycle repairer. Okay, so he came to stay with his uncle, and then he began to learn the trade from his uncle. And then, like the normal Igbo tradition, after a while, his uncle had to let him go. And I think, was it not, how much did you say his uncle gave him? It was not 3 naira or 30 naira. I can't even remember. One very small money that his uncle gave him. And then that was how he also began with bicycle repairs. In fact, at some point, he even invested in some businesses that didn't totally work out. But one of the things that was happening is that he was very faithful in that business. When he promises, he ensures that he keeps to what he has promised and all that. After a while, he was involved in importation. He was importing spare parts of bicycles, and in that process, he began to deal with some Asians. And then they just found out that when they give customers goods, it will pay back before the due date. After it sells the goods, they charge him small, and then they began to enlarge the consignment that they were giving him. And people just find out that when they do business with customers, they can trust him. All right, so they began to do more with him, and it was because of that he also now had the opportunity to begin to import vehicles. At some point, I think some Asians were now looking for representatives in Nigeria. I think it was initially BMW that was looking for representative in Nigeria, and then the only person they could find, they could trust to do business with, was him. And so they began to give him, they would send him cars, and then he would sell and return money. And that was how this guy launched into the realms of billions. Integrity was, he didn't really have a lot of capital, but integrity. So cheating does not last. And you see, when we try to do shady work, when we try to do when we do little work, and then we say we are not doing again or something, or we are not giving our best, people can smell it. Okay, we may think that we don't want to be cheated, or we don't want people cannot use me, and all those things. But you see, people can smell others who are hardworking, who have integrity, who can be trusted. We must build ourselves to be trustworthy people. Because it is as we build ourselves to become trustworthy that others can entrust us with big opportunities. All right. So cheating does not last, and we must ensure that we don't engage in shady deals. Number 10 is that we must learn to spend more than we earn. Okay, learn to spend more than you earn. Learn to spend more than you earn. Whatever you cannot afford at your present level, please don't buy it. Don't buy it. This is one of the places where some of us can be faulty, can be unwise. For example, somebody is not working. The person is buying phone of 70,000. What are you doing with phone of 70,000? As a student, what are you doing with phone of 70,000? You have no business buying phone of 70,000, except you are doing a business that actively requires some of the features of the phones. But if all you just want to do is WhatsApp, Instagram, and all those things, and you are buying phone of 70,000, I'm sorry to say, you are not writing letter to wealth. Okay, we must learn to spend within our income. Okay, we must learn not to spend more than our size. We must recognize what is my level per time and spend according to your level per time. Because it is as we learn to be frugal with resources that we can attract more resources. And then the next one is similar to it. Don't borrow money. Don't live a life of borrowing unless it is absolutely necessary. Maybe investment or something like that. Okay, but sometimes it's funny. People borrow money to buy clothes. Which other day somebody was discussing with me. I think she wanted to do a wedding, and so she said a friend was advising her that she should go and take money. She should go and take a loan from a microfinance bank to do wedding. Can you imagine? Somebody take loan from microfinance bank to do wedding. It does not make sense. In fact, she was not saying that that particular woman who was advising her now has had to run out of town. It's because she became so much indebted, she could not pay the debt, and her creditors were chasing up and down. She had to relocate. She had to run away from town, leave her husband and children, and run away from town. All right. So we must not live a life of borrowing. We must not, particularly for things that are not that will not bring you increase, that are not investment, that will not generate returns for you. It's a different case. Maybe you see a property that that can appreciate, and then you want to take some loan to get property with intention where you know that if you buy a property, it will appreciate. That's a different case. That's a different case entirely. All right. But you want to buy phone, you are not borrowing money to buy phone, or you want to buy clothes, or you want to buy shoe, you are not borrowing money to buy shoe. I know people do things like that. If somebody has a party and the person I must buy the clothes. I have not bought weave-on, and then the person is borrowing money to buy weave-on. Okay, it does not make sense, and living like that will not attract wealth into our lives, because it shows that we are not good manager of financial resources, and life abhors waste. Life repels waste. When we engage in wasteful activity, life does not bring more in our direction. So we must not live by borrowing. And then number 12, you must master the art of selling. You must become a seller. You see, whether we like it or not, all of us, we are selling something. In fact, if you analyze any wealthy person, usually they are selling something. Everybody is selling something. Anybody who is wealthy is selling something. If you check out Dangote is selling something. If you check out Bill Gates is selling something. If you check out Mark Zuckerberg is selling something. And so sometimes, you know, people run away from the idea of selling. Okay, but we must understand that you cannot become wealthy without selling. You must be selling something. Selling is your bedrock upon which every fortune is built. Okay, whatever you want to do to prosper, if you involve, you are selling one thing or the other, whether you are selling your skills or you are selling physical products or you are selling ideas, you cannot make money without selling. I know Richard Templar says there, he says every rich person knows this simple fact. Every poor person does not know. Rich people understand this. Poor people don't understand it. Poor people are looking for job up and down. They are always interested in job. Now, I'm not saying that you should not look for a job. I have a job, okay? I'm not saying you should not look for a job. But you see, in the process of you looking for a job, you must understand that you are selling something. Okay? You are selling skills. You are selling your abilities. And see, when you understand that you are selling, you will want to package yourself to sell at a higher rate, to sell to the highest bidder. Now, this next slide says, all right, and then number 13 is hard work. We see we cannot escape this. Excuse me. This quote here says, you have to work hard enough to get rich enough so that you don't have to work hard. You have to work hard now, long enough to get rich enough so that you don't have to work hard again. And see, when it comes to this hard work, we all have a choice. You can decide to take charge of that process of hard work and decide the kind of area you want to work at and put yourself in it. Or you can allow life to choose for you the kind of hard work you should do. And you can rest assured, if life should decide for you, life will not choose the rosy path for you. Okay? Because you must understand, every poor person is working hard. Yeah. Most poor people are working hard. But sometimes the kind of work they are working is like rewardless work. So many of their efforts, they will be working like elephants. They will be getting reward of an ant. Okay? And then our hard work must not just be physical labor alone. Must be mental labor. Okay? Our hard work must engage our mind. Don't just be interested in doing physical labor that you are just jumping up and down. Much more importantly, we must engage we must do mental work, serious mental work. Serious mental work. Which other day, I think this week now, I was preparing a proposal, and it has taken me like 7 to 8 hours to prepare that proposal. It took me 7 to 8 hours. Mental work. It's not anything physical. I'm just at my desk here. But preparing the mental work. Now, if it generates money, when the proposal generates money, people will think I'm lucky. But it's not about luck. Yesterday, I wanted to finish that proposal. To finish, I started working around, maybe like 9 or thereabout. I didn't sleep until like 11, 12, so that I could knock out that proposal yesterday. Mental work, hard work. But you see, hard work will create results. And you see, we must make up our minds that I want to work hard enough so that you can get enough money that you can decide not to work again. That's the kind of thing that, if you are familiar with the materials of Robert Kiyosaki, that's the kind of thing he preaches, that's the kind of thing he teaches, which is very feasible. You must decide, you must make up your mind that you are going to engage yourself in hard work, hard labor. All right? Both physically and more importantly, mentally. So that, by the time you put in that enough energy, you can create resources, you can generate enough wealth that you can then decide that if you are not working again for the rest of your life, so be it. You don't have to work again. It pains me a lot of time when I see people who are 60, people who are 70, who are still laboring hard physically. It pains me because what it simply tells me is that they have wasted their youthful part, or they have not engaged in the right kind of labor when they were younger. And so none of us must fall into that kind of trap. By the time you are 40, 50, it should be that whatever work you are doing, it's more of a relaxed mental work. Even if you have to do physical, it's more of people that are working with you. It's like you are working with a team. It's not you that is still running up and down. If at 50 you still have to go to shop to, there are people like that at 50 or 60 they must still go to their shop. If they don't go to the shop, they will not make money for the day. We cannot live that kind of life. I think I was telling us at the introductory class that I know a certain man that at late 60, 70, if he does not do surgery, a medical doctor, if he does not do surgery, he will not make money. We cannot afford to live that kind of life. We must work enough while we have energy, while we are young now. Labor enough mentally, labor enough physically, so that a point comes, you have more than enough resources that you don't. When you are older, you don't have to be running up and down to generate money. You already have entities, you have investment that are generating money for you, that are making money for you. Okay, so principle 13 is hard work, and then principle 14 is we must create multiple streams of income. We must create multiple streams of income. We must learn it. We must learn it. You cannot stay with one thing and expect that will be enough for you. Okay, particularly when we are starting out like this, you can't stay with one thing. Minimum will be like 2. Maybe you have a job. Even if you have a job, you may have a job somewhere, but you must be working on something else that can bring in more resources, more financial resources for you. Except you are in such a field that the field can pay you well enough. If you are in a field that you are earning well enough, then that's okay. But if you are not yet earning well enough, you must be willing to combine jobs. You must be willing to combine things. Okay, so that if one stream does not bring in enough resources, you can use another. You can leverage on another stream. If your salary, if you are earning maybe 50,000, maybe 30,000, maybe 70,000 from your salary, and you find out that your salary is not enough, you have to look for what other things can I do that can generate income for me. Okay, so that there can be multiple sources. So that this is one of the reasons why, again, sometimes people who go to look for jobs in the bank, particularly the casual workers, they shoot themselves in the leg. Is it because somebody is working in the bank? The bank takes all of your time. That's why one of the persons I shared with us now, Mr. Adebisi that owns Stomach Care. I was discussing with him, and he was sharing with us that at some point he had to leave the banking industry. He was working in the bank. He was getting paid, but he had to leave the bank because when the bank was taking his time. Now you see, that's his time that the bank was taking, and they were paying him small amount for. He is using that same time in his own business, and is making much more money in his own business. Of course, it took some time, but now he's getting more reward for his labor. So sometimes people go to work in the banks, they don't do any other thing, and then unfortunately for them, they get fired on the job, and then life now becomes hard. They now have what we call midlife crisis because they don't have any other thing to fall back on. While they are on the work, they didn't have savings, and then they get fired on their jobs, and then they have to start from ground zero. They are now wondering. They just say, somebody is doing them. It's not necessarily that somebody is doing them. It's just a function of the fact that they did not apply wisdom. All right. So we must learn to create multiple streams of income. If you are not comfortable with your present income where you are working, you must think, what else can you do to generate income? Looking at some of the things we have talked about, looking at how can you add value to other people, what problems can you solve for other people, how can you make life better, how can you make life easier for other people. And then number 15 is that for you to become wealthy, you must think wealth, you must read about wealth, you must dream wealth, you must talk wealth. Everything about you must be talking wealth creation. You must soak yourself. You must soak yourself in that thought of money. Don't forget, we said everything starts with your thoughts. It begins with your thought. So you must surround yourself with thought of wealth. You must surround yourself with people that talk wealth. You must listen. You must listen to information, or you must watch things that can build your capacity for wealth. You must attend trainings. You must read books. You must do things. You must expose yourself to information that can encourage your mind, that can be positive influence in your mind. You must not entertain things that the thought of poverty or discussions of poverty around you. And you just find out that as you engage these principles, you just find out that little by little, things will begin to work. Doors will begin to open for you. All right. I think we'll stop there. I think with that, we've come to the end of that particular series. Okay, I think I said here that in conclusion, wealth creation is very possible. The ball is really in your court. It's a function of what you decide to do with your life. Everything is about your choice. wealth creation is about your choice. Thank you very much. We will stop there. Any questions, please, before we bring the class to a close? Questions or comments, please?
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome, man. Glory be to God, man. Okay.
Point on number 4, you need specialized knowledge.
Yes.
I was trying to write it. Do not stop stay on the slide for too long.
Yes. No, the slide is on the information desk. Is that this slide is available on the information desk? I think I sent it yesterday. Yes, just check the information desk on WhatsApp. It's there. It's there, man. Yes. Any other questions or comments, please? All right. In the absence of questions or comments, we'll bring this class to a close. Thank you everybody for coming. So the recording of this session will be uploaded shortly after the class. So if you want to listen to it, you can still listen to it again. And then we'll meet again next week, Friday. When we meet next week, Friday, we'll be looking at the principles of business growth. That will take us like 2. Hello, Mr. Daniel.
Yes, sir. I was looking for the point where you made mention of in creating wealth, you give something like value. Like you give something now to get something, sir. So I want to relate that to what I did. We were given an assignment last week.
Okay.
So I now pasted it on the group chat that the first time people that will message me, I'm going to be doing it for them for free because the assignment is time consuming. They message me and I've done it already. So I told them the material I used for the assignment, how much are they willing to give me. So you can imagine the amount of money they were calling. Some were saying 500, 1,000 naira. And a lot of people have been reaching out to me to do the assignment for them. I think I've been doing it for them now. I have been charging them 1,000 naira, sir. I think so far so good now. I've raised close to 8,000 plus now.
Really?
Just for one assignment. I just say let me bring that up. Because from what we've been learning from you over the time, you give in exchange. I think I'm looking for you. We must create multiple. Think words. But I think that's what I want to say, sir.
Now I think that's a fantastic idea, sir.
Yes.
I think that's a very good. I think that's a very good idea. So again, is it one of the things I want you to, is it that campus? The way I think you should begin to operate now is that if you can solve that problem for 8 people, you can solve it for 1,000 people. Or if you can solve that problem 8 times, you can solve it 1,000 times, so that people can pay you 1 million.
1 million.
In fact, I think I must push that challenge to you. Try to push yourself that before you finish on that campus, you must generate 1 million before you finish. You are just starting. Are you with me? You should just give yourself that fun. Just challenge yourself in a funny way. Just do like play. Just tell yourself that you want to solve problems for people that they can pay you 1,000 each, and then you want to do it 1,000 times or do it for 1,000 people, so that you can generate 1 million from the campus. And you see you have started it. What you just now need to do, in fact, by the time we get to business ideas, 40 business ideas for you, we will still deal more with that because I believe that campuses are a hotbed of income generation. Okay. So for me, what you are doing is it's a very nice concept. It's a very good concept. What you just now need to do is that begin to ask yourself, if you can solve what problem of one assignment for people, what other problems are students likely going to have that you can begin to also solve, particularly academically, that you can solve for them and that they can pay you for. Are you with me, sir?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
So there's nothing that says that you cannot be earning in millions before you finish school. Looking at problems you can solve for your colleagues, problems you can solve on campus.
Yes,
Are you with me, sir? So for me, I think that's a very good idea. So what you should be thinking of is that how do you scale the idea? How do you multiply the idea? If you need to engage services of more people so that you can cover more grants, you begin to think like that. Begin to think that way.
Okay,
Are you with me, sir?
Yeah.
So yes, you are exactly on track. You are on track, because you see, for wealth to come to us, we must be willing to give something in exchange for the wealth. Wealth does not come to us in a vacuum. Okay, there's nothing like something for nothing. No, there's nothing like something for nothing. If people are going to give us money, we must be increasing their life. We must be adding value to their life, or we must be providing one solution or the other for them. We must be solving one problem or the other for them, and then they pay us in return. A lot of people now do, the mistake many people now make is that they solve the problem for few people, and they refuse to now ask themselves, how can they multiply this solution they are providing?
Okay.
So you get that's often where a lot of people get stuck. They are providing solutions, but they do not think of how to multiply the solutions they are providing. And this is one of the secrets of clothing companies like Nike, like Dolce and Gabbana, like Ralph Lauren. They know that they are providing solution, and so you find out that they open one store in one city, but they don't stay with just that one store. They begin to open different stores in different places, multiplying the result, because they know that sometimes if they open only one store, there is a limit to what they can earn. So they begin to multiply and replicate the solution in several places. Sure, you are with me, sir?
I'm with you, sir.
So I think what I've just said is speaking to what we are talking about. What you have said, that the example you gave now is speaking to what we are talking about, providing solution, and then people can pay you for that solution you are providing, sir.
Yes, sir. That's number 12.
Yes.
You must master the art of selling. I just found it. Number 12, guys, because you can't make money without selling something. That's what I was looking for.
Yes. So if it's assignment you want to be selling, oh well and good. It's fine. It doesn't mean that, it simply means that you are selling knowledge and you are selling your skill, which is very good, which is very acceptable. It's okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm blessed. I'm really blessed, sir.
Yes, sir. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to share.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Miss Okwe, are you saying something? Good evening, ma. How is you? Okay. Yes, please.
Yes, sir, I have something to say. Good evening, sir. I'm fine, sir.
Okay. Yes, please.
Okay, what I want to say is that most of the times, those people that affect our lives positively are not I can use myself as an example.
Yeah.
I remember when I started to learn, always to work, you are learning all this online this thing, like why can't this as skills that can generate for me, and when you tell them it's not for me, they get angry. No, so what are for them about the thing that okay, you should keep
I didn't hear you. Please say that last thing you said. Please come again. I didn't hear the last part of what you said. Miss Okwe, I didn't hear the last part of what you said. Are you there? Okay, I couldn't get her. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I said that we should at the beginning. That we should okay, whatever position get from our brain when we are ideal we should that be at the back of our mind. Yeah, about
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, but again, usually when we are starting out an idea or a process, sometimes we face opposition. Sometimes some people may not even want to buy initially, which is understandable. Okay, it's also understandable. I think we'll deal with that when we get to business. The solutions we think we want to provide. It's not everybody that will buy into the idea. It's not everybody that will buy into the solution. But we must not allow that to stop us. So you are correct. I agree with you, man. Yes, we must not allow the initial opposition to stop us. Yeah. Any other questions or comments, please? Please, let's talk. This thing is supposed to be interactive. Any other questions or comments, please? Okay, so in the absence of further questions or comments, we'll bring today's class to a close. Thank you, everybody, for coming. So we'll meet again next week, Friday. So let's try and be punctual. Let's try and come in on time. See ya. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Yes, sir.